YouTube. What it do? This is HxnchxTV. You not tuned in to my latest drop. And if you made it this far, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. And just know, your time here is highly respected and greatly appreciated here on this channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
New charges today in the murder of a Ferguson man who reported the rape of his own daughter. 3 family members stand indicted for the murder of Kcoree Warren, who was gunned down after refusing to bribe to drop charges in a sexual assault case. Our Megan Kernan is live outside the Ferguson Police Department, where prosecutors announced indictments just hours ago.
Kcoree Warren's best friend tells me he was the best person on earth and a great father. His family still hasn't come back home since the killing. And these 3 men are now charged, accused of working together to silence that father, murdering him.
I'm not gonna hold y'all. Sorry, this is like totally off topic, but she's like the first person I've seen whose eyes like go the opposite way of her face. Like, that shit, wow. I'm burnt out.
And then murdering their own hitman.
One of the most senseless acts of violence that I've reached and have seen this year.
Ferguson Police Chief Troy Doyle says Kcoree Warren's killing was calculated, cruel, and personal. On July 8th, officers say Kcoree Warren was shot through the glass door of his Ferguson home that you can still see 3 months later.
That's real good, Dad. You know, I couldn't ask for a better neighbor.
Investigators say Warren was shot after refusing a $12,000 bribe to stay quiet about charges against LaVar Harmon, accused of raping Warren's daughter. Prosecutors say Harmon, his uncle Anthony L. Young, and cousin Anthony D. Young coordinated Warren's murder with their associate, Andrew Klaus, who later
All right, so let me give y'all a little bit of more information on this situation, right? Because it's a pretty fucked up situation, and to me, I feel like this is worth talking about. You know what I mean? So basically, Kcoree Warren, obviously the victim in this situation, he was the father to the young woman that was raped by this gentleman here, LaVar Harmon. So basically what happened was LaVar Harmon, he saw Kcoree Warren's daughter, who is believed to be 15 years old, walking home from school. And I guess he liked what he saw. They exchanged numbers. And he basically tricked on her. You know, he took out, spent money on her, let her live it up for a little bit, and then he took her back to the house, and the rest was history, right? So May 19th is when LaVar Harmon was charged. And what he did was he got his sister, think her name is LaVonda Harmon or something like that. But his sister and another man went to Kcoree Warren's residence and tried to throw 12 bands in his face, give him $12,000. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that, pretty much. So what they did was, this is where the shit gets real sinister. So Kcoree wouldn't take the 12 bands. Nearly 2 months later, LaVar Harmon, Anthony L. Young, and Anthony D. Young, there is a relationship between these 3. So Anthony L. Young is the father to Anthony D. Young. He's also the uncle to LaVar Harmon as well. So this is a whole family intertwined situation right here. These 3 conjured up a plan to murder Kcoree Warren, and they hired a hitman, Andrew Klaus, to pull off the murder. However, he pulled the murder off, and then they murdered him too. He got knocked off too in that same day. They then took the getaway car, which was a white Kia, and they drove it to a certain location and burnt it up, sent it up in flames. To me, this shit is like some shit out of a movie. Like, you can't make this type of shit up.
Andrew Klaus, who later that same day was also shot and killed. All three men now face 2 counts of first-degree murder, armed criminal action, and felonies like statutory rape.
I would have never thought something like this would happen around here.
Neighbor Hugh Deberly was home the day Warren was killed.
Next thing I know, I heard about 4 or 5 gunshots. Then I seen them running across my yard into a car, and they took off. They tried to revive him, and his kids are out there crying.
Warren's neighbors remember him as a devoted dad and friend.
Well, they took a person's life. You know, a person was trying to do right, and they killed him for it. So they should have to pay too.
Prosecutors said this was not being charged as a murder for hire plot, but that could change if evidence points to that. Harmon is held on a $2 million bond in St. Louis County, and the Youngs are in federal custody, also on $2 million bonds each. Live in Ferguson, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
We stream to.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Like, could you imagine yourself being in this predicament? What would you have done if you were in his shoes? Would you have just taken a bribe, or would you have stood on business and did what you felt like was the right thing to do? Y'all let me know in the comment section. This is HxnchxTV. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I'll be sure to drop more content like this for y'all. I'll catch you on the next drop. Peace.